Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We are learning Mishnah Yispeitza, Perek Dalet, Chapter 4, Mishnah Vav, Mishnah 6. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, the sage Rabbi Eliezer said, Noitel Adam Kisa Mishalofanav. A person can take, a kisa means a sliver, a thin piece of wood. He can take a kisam, a small piece of wood, Mishalofanav, that is in front of him, Lachtzes Paishinav, to clean out his teeth. You know, the old toothpicks, the good old toothpicks, where, you had a sliver of wood, you took it and you cleaned your teeth. So Rabbi Eliezer says that that piece of wood is not considered muktzah. Okay? That small piece of wood that was lying around in your house, it's considered not muktzah. It's considered that your intention on it is to use it for whatever purposes may be. And that would include such as using it as a toothpick, meaning it doesn't have to only be used for firewood. It could actually be used for other purposes also. Now, Rabbi Eliezer is saying this. He says you can take a sliver of wood, mishalafanav, that's in front of you, which would mean inside your house. If it's inside your house, then we say your intention is to use whatever is inside your house, and it can be used for whatever purposes you want to, that you would deem fit to use it for. And therefore, the piece of wood can be used to clean out his teeth. But it sounds like from the wording, from Mishalafana, from before him, this would only go on the pieces of the slivers of wood that are inside your house. Now look at the next line. And you can gather the slivers of wood from the courtyard, umadlik, and light them. Because whatever is in the courtyard is muchanhu, is considered prepared for usage. Now here, it seems like it doesn't have to be in your house. It could be in your courtyard. If it's in your courtyard, we consider it that you have this intention on it to use it. And although, the way the Bartanur explains, the way the Gemara explains, is that according to Rabbi Eliezer, it doesn't have to be only in your house. You want to use it as a toothpick and take the sliver of wood that's from your courtyard. You want to take the toothpick from there, you can take it from there. Because even what's in your even a sliver that's in your courtyard is considered something that is prepared for use. It's something that you would consider, we say you have intentions to use it. And even though it says umadlik and he lights with it, it's not only lighting. You could use it for a toothpick too. Now, the reason, so at the end of the day, according to Rabbi Eliezer, if it's in your courtyard and it's a sliver of wood that you want to use for anything, whether you want to use it to throw into a fire, whether you use it for a toothpick, you can do it. The Chachamim say, Megabev mishalafanav umadlik. You can gather slivers that are in front of you and you can light them. The Chachamim are very specific, as the commentaries point out, as Gemara points out. The Chachamim are very specific. Number one, if you're talking about a sliver, which is what we were talking about, the Gav means you're gathering these small these small pieces, as mentioned before. If you're going to be Gav, if you're going to go ahead and gather these little slivers of wood, Mishalafanav, it has to be in front of you. If it's in your courtyard, you can't. What's in your courtyard is not muchan. It's not. If it's a sliver, it's not considered prepared and ready for use. You know why? Because slivers are very small. To have to go in your courtyard and pick up the slivers is a lot of work, and therefore, according to the Chachamim, we don't say that your intentions are on those slivers. They're hard to deal with. So unless you actually went and you put them aside, it'd be a different story. But to go ahead and say, well, what can we say are your intentions? What are in the back of what can we say are your in the recesses of your mind? What are your intentions? Well, the Chachamim say something that you have to bother with, like gathering up these little pieces, is not. We're not going to say that that's something that you have your mind on usage. Now, but if it's in front of you in your house, typically that's going to be easier to deal with. Then you can light with them. So if they're in your house, your intent is on them. We say your intent is on them, but you can only use it to light, as we said yesterday. The Chachamim follow the opinion that wood that you have intention to use, and typically you have that intention. When we say that you have intent to use wood. Intent to use wood means use it as firewood, not for anything else. And therefore, these slivers of wood, if they're in your courtyard, forget it. You can't use it for anything. If they're in your house, then you can use it to light a fire with. Because we say that is because, as we said before, this is an opinion that says that wood, when we consider it not muktzah, it's only not muktzah for firewood, but not for other purposes. And therefore, it's got to be in front of you, and you have to use it for firewood. Also, even though not necessarily clear in the Mishnah, but also if the reason why in your courtyard the slivers are not considered prepared for use is because they're little and it's a bother to pick them up. If there'd be large pieces that are in your courtyard, which aren't such a big hassle to have to go ahead and collect and pick up, those would not be muktzah, even according to the Chachamim, for firewood. So if it's in your courtyard and it's large pieces, so it's not a hassle to go gather them together and they're in your courtyard, they don't have to be in your house. They can even be in your courtyard. We say that your intent is to use them. They're considered prepared for use because it's not a hassle to have to gather them together, and you can use them for firewood specifically. Because according to the Chachamim's opinion here, if wood is not muktzah, it's only not muktzah to be used for firewood, but not to use for anything else. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Welcome.
You can't pick up the leaves.